up? What is up? We are back, black, blessed, highly melanated, not highly favored, but highly melanated in this bitch. What is going on? What is going on? I'm your boy, your gracious host, Warren G. In the place to be. Been clowning sucker free since 2003, which means you already know what it is. Ain't no finessing me over here. A lot of finessing going on. Look at me. You see me trying to straighten up these clown ass books. Ain't nothing straight. Cords and shit everywhere. Fuck all that. Nigga, we hood over here, man. What's going on? We are back, black in the building. Well, you know, my boy Nick is back. That's a fact. And we not whack. No, I'm just fucking with y'all. But hey, man, shout out to everybody out there that's at the Core Plantation right now, man. Shout out to my nigga Dom, man. You know I talked to Dom today, man. Shout out to my nigga Dom and shit. Shout out to Otis as well. Shout out to everybody that's at the Core Plantation that's trying to make it, I guess, palatable, man. Shit. I don't know what to say. So shout out to all y'all. Shout out to all the begging ass niggas at the Core Plantation too. It's a lot of you begging motherfuckers too. We'll get on that another day. Maybe tomorrow. So shout out to all y'all. Shout out to everybody that went to choir rehearsal today. Getting ready to go praise Cesare tomorrow. So shout out to y'all, man. And shout out to everybody that's out there trying to learn, gather knowledge. Reading is fundamental. Shout out to everybody that's investing in stock, 401k, bonds, mutual funds, black businesses. Make sure you go support them. I just got some cookies. I got to show them to y'all probably tomorrow. I got some cookies from Cookie Confidant. Them motherfucking cookies like this big. But anyway, shout out to them. Shout out to any black business that you support. I am trying to do a whole, I would say, list of black businesses that I've been supporting. So I'm going to go ahead and put those on here and start showing y'all some of the products that I got. I'm going to show you some of the products that I got from Tahuti. Shout out to Tahuti, my Ira. I just ordered some more shit from him. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to everybody out there that's handling business. We're going to get into it, man. Let me turn this clown-ass music down. The topic today we're going to talk about clown-ass Michael Rappaport. Yo. I don't give a fuck, yo, man. You know, it's fucking bullshit, man. That bullshit. So we gonna get on that shit and talk about Van Lathan and the Higher Learning Podcast. I call it the Higher Deflection. Because that's what the fuck he was doing. White fragility like a motherfucker. So we gonna get into that shit today. And man, we gonna get into it, man. So let me go ahead and turn this clown ass music down and let's get into it, man. Nick, what is going on, man? Nick?
What's going on with you, Warren?
Man, you already know what it is, man. Yeah, man. I am definitely trying to grow, so that's why I'm gonna show you these Cookie Confidant. I get excited when I support a black business, bro. I be so fucking happy, man. And I don't be disappointed when they business acumen ain't that great, because I feel like, well, at least they trying. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So
you gotta start somewhere.
You gotta start somewhere. So, you know, even with Cookie Confidant, it was a little miscommunication. I even took the blame. I was like, well, maybe it was on me. But Cookie Confidant made sure I got my shit. And I got 2 boxes, them 2 white boxes you see in my clown ass kitchen. And let me tell you something, them motherfuckers, I'm gonna show you, the motherfuckers is big as fuck, man. So shout out to them, shout out to Mix and Health. Shout out to Black and Noble. That's where I get black soap and shit from. So shout out to them. I just been looking for a lot of black businesses, bro, man, cause you know, you said some real shit, man, a week ago and the week before. Because, you know, sometimes I don't even have to go back and play them. I'll play the first 2 minutes to make sure the audio ain't fucked up. But I don't have to do that because I know either Shawnee will tell me or my sister will tell me or my cousin will tell me. One of them will be like, nigga, what the fuck are y'all doing? So I don't even have to listen no more. But a lot of times I be thinking about what you say. And you said some real shit. Remember what you said? You was like, hey, y'all, I'm just telling y'all right now. White people businesses are doing great. Y'all don't need to be supporting white businesses. Support black businesses, man. Don't even fuck with them. And I'm thinking like, cause you're right, cause we support black business, white business every day. MacBook Pro, Focusrite, Water.
Denver Broncos.
Denver, thank you. You know what I'm saying? I got this shirt on. This is from a black business, Melanin God. So, you know,
that's just not black people though. That's white people too.
No, yeah, that's true. That's true, man. Yeah, no, yeah, you right. Yeah, you right. Now, I ain't gonna lie. Some white folk, you know, they'll support black businesses if they see something they like it. They'll fuck with it. But you ain't lying though. The majority of white folk, they don't give a fuck about no black business. They'll look at black business and keep it going, unless it's Jordan or, you know what I'm saying, some shit that we made cool. That's why I found it. I went on to David Banner. You know, I love David Banner. I got the Guy Box, the CD. Mm-hmm. I play that motherfucker to death. That shit is dope. I've been liking David Banner, ever since he came out with the Rubber Band Man. I don't know if you know, he produced that song. And people don't know that. And I just always been a fan of his, bro. And when he started speaking, and I'm like, dude, this dude's smart as fuck. It just made me a bigger fan or whatever. And I went to his page. His code's called a Banner Vision. And I saw his shorts. He got some fresh ass shorts. The colors is so dope. And I was like, man, I'm gonna get him. And I remember he said something like, man, black folk always complaining about how much black folk charge for their merch. But black folk will be the main black folk going out there and bragging about how much they paid for some Gucci shorts. They don't make shorts, but Gucci belt or glasses or something like that, or Louis Vuitton. But when it comes to black, like, we don't put any value into our shit. Some of us do, some of us don't. Like me, I love this Melanin God shirt. I love my Corey Holcomb shirts. I get more people turning their head when I wear a Corey Holcomb shirt, because Corey Holcomb is probably one of the greatest comedians ever. Like, he's just that funny, and he's himself. He's not a caricature. So when I wear his shirts, bro, I get a lot of compliments. And
but the thing is, like, a lot of black businesses are getting charged extra for their product that they're selling. So they're gonna be charging extra for it at the beginning. A lot of these big corporate white companies, they're getting discounts on the products that they're selling. So, like I said, you got to start somewhere.
And that's why when I saw his shorts, I had been seeing it for a while, bro. I'm like, man, I'm gonna get him. I'm just making my way around. I'm gonna get him. I'm watching this show called The Boys on Amazon Prime with Laz Lonzo. You too young to know who Laz Lonzo is. Laz Lonzo was on BET in the 90s. I said, he got on a David Banner shirt. The nigga had it on. I'm like, damn, he got on. I'm like, fuck. Because I like to be ahead of the curve. And I feel like when you start supporting like business, I just think it's very important, and it does something to your psyche. I don't know what it is, man, but when I'm wearing Corey Holcomb's clothes, or I'm wearing Pharaonic Designs clothes, if I'm wearing, like this shirt, or if I'm, reading a book by a black author, I'm reading a book from a white author, but it's about black people telling the real truth about a black story, like Slavery by Another Name. See, that fuck with you because he didn't take anything out of that book.
Right.
He didn't lie. He didn't alter it where, well, these were good white folk. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's why you like, God damn, that's the type of shit that you take pride in. You see what I'm saying? So then when you start supporting black businesses, because I ain't gonna lie, man, to me, I feel like I've been bullshitting a lot on supporting them. Let me tell you why. Before we get into the top topics today, let me tell you why. Hey, what's going on, Erica? We buy black. That's a fact. I'm gonna tell you why. Nick, I probably could have been a spokesman for Coors Light and Bud Light Lime. I probably could have been a spokesman for them. As much Bud Light Limes as I bought from 2000 and oh Lord Jesus, probably Coors Light and Bud Light's Coors, I would just say from 2002, 3 to about 2013. I probably spent about, give or take, if we add it all up, about $10,000 on beer. $10,000. I'm not lying to you, bro. Like, I'm adding up all the years. 03 will go, let's go 03 to 2013. That's 10 years, isn't it? 10 years, $10,000. That's $1,000 a year.
Right.
I could have bought all kinds of black shit, but wasn't even thinking about it. Didn't even matter to me. See what I'm saying? But now I'm like, I gotta rewrite my wrongs, man. Man, I be buying all kinds of shit from Tahuti Mile Ra. I told my brother about that shit. You know what I'm saying? I tell people about it because he's a natural herbalist and he was in Hidden Colors, but I had knew about him previously. And the reason why I started fucking with him is because Dr. Sebi had passed away. And see, people didn't know about Dr. Sebi. Dr. Sebi was stamping his approval on his vitamins. Dr. Sebi was everywhere, bro. Dr. Sebi, this is what he did, Nick. This is like you, the herbalist. You put me on and you just stamp it. Like, I'm like, hey, so is this good? And you like, okay, yeah, that's good. Right. But you're not really here because you got shit to do. I'm not saying that the the vitamins that he was selling wasn't quality. I'm just saying that he wasn't really there. So I was just like, I want to have another natural herbalist. I don't know what I was thinking, Nick. I'm like, I want to have another natural herbalist just in case, you know, because you always want to have different ones. And then boom, he passed away. And after he passed away, all his kids started coming out. Well, I have the real sea moss pills. And remember, I told you that story. And after that, I was like, I'm not fucking with this shit no more. And then I started, but I had already bought shit from Tahuti. But now, I probably got damn near all my herbs from him.
Not to mention, though, there was a couple interviews on Sway where they were like kind of going back and forth on each other as far as like his current wife was talking shit about his first wife, about how she's the one that came up with the real shit, and then his first wife was like, no, I'm the one that went down to Mexico, wherever it was, that got, like, we started getting herbs in the 70s. So a bunch of different conflicting stories now.
But you notice none of them give the Honorable Elijah Muhammad his credit. See what I'm saying? How to Eat to Live, he wrote that in the 70s.
Right.
So he been on this shit. Dr. Sebi is the only one who gave him credit. You can Google it. If you Google Dr. Sebi, Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the first thing he says is, I thank God for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's why a lot of his older kids are Muslim, Nation of Islam names. They're Muslim names. And that's what I didn't like. You see what I'm saying? And I don't think Sebi, I don't know his family, but I think he was sitting on a gold mine. I just didn't think, I felt from the outside looking in that a lot of his family just didn't want to put in the natural work because they wanted to get paid.
Right.
And I think he was doing it to really help people. And then Nip, RIP to Nip, kind of like re-energized his movement. You see what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm going to do a doctor. And then he passed away. Because I saw Dr. Sebi in 2013, bro. I saw him in 2013. That was the first time I was introduced to him. 2013, 2014. That was the first time. And right away, he was talking about sea moss and food is electric. Boom. First thing I started doing is Googling, looking up, what is sea moss? I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know this shit exists. Because I had stomach problems from drinking, eating bad food. So, but when you're right. I watched enough of that from his family, and it was disheartening, Nick, and that's why I was just like, all right, well.
And if you want to talk shit about it, go ahead, man. But go ahead and try the alkaline diet for real. I'm not saying I follow it right now, but I did. And I'm telling you that those first 4 days, man, like, you're like, man, fucking shit's coming out of everything. Like,
yep.
Nose, fucking mouth. It's like, oh my God, like, look at all these fucking mucus coming out.
Yep.
And you just feel better.
Yes, you do. And that sea moss,
everyone that talks shit about it doesn't even try it.
No.
They won't even try it. They're like, oh, that don't work.
Well, that's the spectators. They're not in the game. But, man, that's why I said I just wanted to touch on that, man, because I feel like what you said was very important, and it kept resonating with me. Like, man, you don't stop. Like, remember I told you, freedom.
And like Dr. Boyce Watkins says, man, if you go to a black business and it's not good business, it's not good, whatever it is, don't just go, okay, well, I'm not going to any more black businesses no more. Maybe not fuck with that one. Maybe go to another one. Like,
yeah. And see, he's right. Let me tell you something. I bought a shirt from this company called Ramomar, right? I never got my shirt because this dude is brilliant. But the business, yeah. But the business acumen at the time wasn't that great. Let me tell you why. Nick, if you have your own podcast, right, and you got 10,000 followers, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say you got 10,000. I don't do a podcast. But let's just say I made sea moss or made clothes or something, right? Mm-hmm. And you like, hey, and you, let's say you rocking my shit all the time. And people are like in the chat like, Nick, where you get that gear from? You like, oh, I get it from my boy Warren G. Go check out his website, woo woo. And then every day you like, hey, go check out my boy Warren's site. Out of your 10,000 followers, at least 700 to 1,000 of them are going to go on my website and purchase my shit. Right. That's how it works. You always got to take away the 90 percentile and that 1 percentile, that 10 percentile, they're going to support you. And if I'm only getting 1 or 2 orders and your 600 or 700 people crash my site and my business acumen ain't up to par, it's like, it's your job, I feel like, to just kind of pull my coat up. Like, hey, bro, these people are worried about their orders, man. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? Everything good? But I feel like it is not black people's job to, I would say, go to the Better Business Bureau. They was doing all kinds of fun, like they was going in on Freedom Paper Company, you know. And I'm not gonna get into the logistics of what happened. I told you off air because I'm not into that. But when that happened to me on Ramamar, let me tell you how gangster this shit was. Ramamar, once he started getting all these orders and people wasn't getting their shirts and people was complaining, I never got mine. I never said nothing to this day because I didn't care. I could have. You know why? Because he ended up getting a sister she was the COO, Chief Operating Officer. So she was over the finances, the business. She went on Zoe Williams' podcast and was like, I am in charge of the business. He's just going to worry about the art. I need you to take a screenshot of your receipt, send it to me. We will get your shirt out to you ASAP. After I heard that, I was like, I don't even want it. You know why? Because at least the money will go to somebody else, man.
Right.
Because I'm not into that. But you know why? This was a long time ago. This was like 6-7 years ago. You know why? Because then I was like, one day I want to be a business owner. And I don't want nobody shitting on me like that.
Right.
So I never even did it. Just like with Tahuti. And
you don't know what happened on the other side.
You don't know, bro.
You
don't know. Like with Cookie Confidant, they made it. The dude made it right, bro. Mm-hmm. The dude, I was calling, and it was probably miscommunication. Different time zone. They're in Texas. Right. So, you know, maybe I'm calling wrong. Maybe they're not getting the emails. Let me tell you something. It's a black business. They don't have the same resources that white folks do. Mm-hmm. So I get it. I'm seasoned. So Nick, I just said, well, I'll just make sure I message them and do my proper protocol. And I don't want my money back because it ain't that deep. At first I was like, well, maybe I'll just get my money back and go support another black business. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. And then I was just like, all right, well, let's just see what's going on. Then the brother hit me up and was like, man, I apologize. And I had a feeling because when somebody on a major platform is promoting your business, bro, it's going to flood. Right. And if you're not ready, you better get ready because I've seen that happen so many times. I'm telling you, Nick, it's like me and you, going on somebody else's podcast and people like, man, we fuck with Warren and Nick. And they like, where y'all podcast at? We like, oh man, we do a little podcast. I'm like, yeah, we do a little something at my crib. And then all of a sudden we got a bunch of followers. Me and you it's a pressure. Now we feel like we got to do a gimmick
right
to keep the people. You see what I'm saying?
Like 7 years ago, one of my friends hit me up and said, hey man, go ahead and get your weed through this dude. So he gave me his number. I'm like, all right, I'll give him a try. I hit him up. He goes, all right, man, at this time, meet me at this location. I think it was like 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, all right, cool. 11 o'clock he comes, and he texts me. He's like, hey, man, I'm not going to be able to make it. Let's reschedule for 3. I was like, all right, no problem, man. 3 o'clock comes, and something else happens, and he's like, hey, man, I'm not going to be able to make it today. And I'm like, damn. Like, man, what the? I hit up my friend that day. I'm like, man, what the fuck, man? What's up with your boy? The next day, he hits me up. This dude hits me up. He goes, man, my bad, dude. That was on me. He came to my house and he's like, bro, this, and this happened. I'm like, all right, man. Like, I don't want no excuse. I don't want no excuses, man. From that day, I've never had a problem. So shit happens.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He had some family matters he had to deal with, and it was just that one day that his clientele was not getting the service they needed. But had I just been like, man, fuck with you, I don't fuck with you no more. I would have been fucking myself because he ended up being a pretty reliable dude, man. So
yeah.
It's a weird scenario, but
you never
know what's happening on the other side.
You never know.
And like you said, man, okay, one time it's cool. You know what I'm saying? If it's 3, 4, 5 times, all right, maybe take it somewhere else. But don't just say, I'm not going to do business with black businesses no more.
That's a fact.
Because that's what a lot of people do. And it's not just black people that need to support black businesses. It's also white people.
That's true.
Because it's not just white people that are supporting white businesses.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And that's why when we got on the same page, I didn't, well, hey, man, where's my stuff at? I'm like, look, brother, I'm here to support you however I can. It's no rush. I know you're busy. I understand. You know, I don't want my money back. Actually, I want the cookies, my nigga, because some shits look good. You know, I just send me my shit, man.
Right.
And you know why I was happy? Because it's a black business. You got to circulate, like Dr. Claude Anderson teaches, circulate those black dollars. I'm not saying take your rent money and go buy, but I'm just saying, if you got $20, you can't find a black business that you spend $10 on. $10?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that's why, and the reason why I'm patient like that now, Nick, because I said, man, I want to be an entrepreneur. And when I am, I don't want nobody breathing down my neck about shit like that, man. Because I've been in those scenarios so many times, man. So it's like, you just got to have patience. Erica said, we must be patient with our fam when they're working out the kinks. That's a fact. I just ordered a shirt through this company. The main title is Shark Dodo, Melanated Emotions, and they made DMX look like Mr. Potato Head. I didn't do anything. I said, I'll just wear it to sleep. I didn't make any fuss, and then like a week later, they sent a whole another shirt free of charge, so I ended up getting 2 shirts. Facts. It also happened with my friend Justin King, the comedian. He used a PR person who ripped off all the online tickets, $17, and didn't even get to watch the show. Just happened. Damn, that's fucked up. But they shouldn't still stop fucking with the comedian, bro. You don't know.
Right.
That's why I just learned. I wanted to talk about that because that was on my heart and on my mind the whole week when you was like, bro.
And not to mention, man, it's so unfortunate that white businesses are so convenient, man. You have 80 Walmarts just here in town in Vegas. You got fucking, you have all these businesses that are owned by white people, so convenient that it's more convenient for you to go to them than go out of your way to go to a black business.
Yep.
And we need to start going out of our ways.
Yep. And you know why? Because it's their infrastructure. So we have to learn the difference. And we have to plan things. So that's why I didn't really trip, because I was patient. And then he finally got back to me. And I just did my due diligence. Same thing with Tahuti. Man, I emailed Tahuti one time, and I guess the manager in charge or whoever was in charge, maybe his assistant, I don't know the assistant, very, very nice. They didn't do no nigga explaining. Nick, you know how the email shit started? We're sorry. We dropped the ball. We deeply apologize to you, Warren, man. We can give you a credit. You know what the email I sent back? I said, I don't want a credit. I don't want anything for free. Matter of fact, I'm going to go and order more product from you guys. So, no, I'm going to keep purchasing from you guys like I've been doing.
That's another thing, man. Don't try to, I think I heard that. I don't know if it was Boyce Watkins or something. Somebody was, don't try to get the hookup. You know what I'm saying? And I do it too. You know how many times I'll sit there and I'll be like, hey, I ain't fucking paying for Pandora. This shit's fucked up. And they're like, all right, well, you get 3 more months free. All right. And then by that 3rd month, I'm like, man, this shit was fucking up again just to get. Yeah. Don't do that with black businesses,
man,
because they can't afford to keep gifting their shit, man.
Why you think I told on the email? I said, I'm gonna keep supporting black businesses like they did in Tulsa. No, I'm gonna support until I can't support no more. I'm hooked. I like his vitamins. And no, that's disrespectful. I like his natural herb. He's a herbologist. He's not no fucking vitamin. Vitamin is that's a compound of a byproduct. No, he has natural herbs. That's why it's a process. That's why, see me, I read, she said, even the American flag is made in China. That's a fact. When you read his website, it basically tells you, look, if you want XYZ, don't be emailing me in 2 days talking about where's my shit. It's not a vitamin, it's an herb. I have to get the herb from different places. I have to compound them, put them into a pill form. That is not easy, very difficult. Right. Of what I'm doing, and then I'm explaining to you what this herb does for you. And his website is probably, Tuti Ara's website is the best website you'll ever see, Nick. You're never gonna get a website better than his. It's very informative. Every single herb he has on there, he's gonna tell you what it does. Everything. And what it's good for you, what's not good for you, what you should be taking, what you shouldn't. And when I said that back, the sister emailed me back, you are a rare customer. And I said, don't even trip. Because
for the most part, people be like, oh, cool, that's what's up. Thanks for the free shit.
Nah, I'm good. It's a black business, bro. Let's ask this question, Nick, before we get to our next topic. Would people go into Gucci and want some free shit? No.
They wouldn't give it to them.
First of all, Gucci ain't giving you nothing free.
Right.
And neither is Louis Vuitton.
Right.
So unless you got hundreds of thousands of dollars at your disposal and you make their clothes, you're campaigning for their clothes, or you are a famous person, they might give you some shit free.
They might apologize and give you 10% off.
10% off.
Purchase, but they ain't going to.
But if it's me and you going into a Gucci store, they're not giving us anything free,
right.
even if they fuck up.
Right.
And if they do fuck up, they give you something free, fine. But I feel like most people would brag about how much they cost, how much they pay for it. Oh, I got this Gucci bag. This shit costs $2,000. And ain't no diss. It's nothing. I'm not dissing nobody because I understand where it comes from. I used to be the same boy. But I just want people to go get the Gucci, go get the Louis, get the Fendi and the Balenciaga, go get all the Italians that can't stand niggas, really. You know what I'm saying? They don't even wear their own shit. But I also want you to take that same money, take 10% and go fuck with Ramomar, go fuck with Pharaonic Design, go fuck with Melanin Guy, go get black clothes. You know what I'm saying? Like in the 90s growing up, bro, it was cross colors, brand Nubian. We didn't even wear like
Carl
Kanai. Man, niggas didn't really, I ain't gonna lie, niggas didn't really start wearing like white clothes until like the late 90s. The late 90s when they had Aaliyah and Usher and Tyrese and them modeling Tommy Hilfiger. And then Tommy came out and was like, I didn't make my clothes for black people. But you have black people modeling your shit.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because I ain't gonna lie to you, I never really saw a whole lot of white people wearing Tommy Hilfiger. I never saw them wearing Tommy Hilfiger. I never saw white people wearing Nautica or Polo. All I saw was black people. You'll see a white person in a polo shirt every now and then, but they don't care about them motherfuckers. Go get Crocs and go to Walmart and get a polo.
Fat form too. Yeah.
Thank you. You see what I'm saying? So I just believe that we need to support our own and good looking out on bringing that to the forefront. Because you're right, white people need to support black businesses too. But before we any of that, we black folk need to support black businesses. I'm not saying you got to support all of them, but if a person is like, hey man, fuck with my shirts, damn, you can't buy one shirt. It's $10.
Right.
Niggas be like, damn, nigga, $10. Man, shit, I get it up the street for you. I get it. And I understand. But sometimes, you know, we put the cart before the horse, and I think we be expecting black businesses to be like Walmart. You right. We be expecting them to be like Costco and Walmart and Trader Joe's. No, nigga, they're not them. Costco, Walmart, these are ran by the system of racism and white supremacy. Those places are never going anywhere. Right. So that's why they got such a strong hold on the economy. It's backed by the system. It's like the agents in the Matrix. I'll always use the Matrix. Nobody could kill the agents. That's the mainframe of the system backing them. That's why they can move in and out of the Matrix the way they could. They just couldn't fuck with people like the Merovingian because he was the trafficker of information. But for the most part, everybody be running from them because they the big dogs on the block. So that's how you got to look at white businesses. They the big dogs on the block. But hey, man, I just appreciate that shit, and that's what we got to do. Hey, now let's get into the real topic, man. Just let y'all know, Erica, man, Nick came up with this topic. I think it's an excellent topic. You gave me some homework, and I like that. Nick had sent me this podcast. I watched Van Lathan's podcast, and I think he's a very intelligent brother. I just think people don't like him because he used to be on TMZ. Well, Nick sent me this podcast.
Which it's legitimate at first. I mean, TMZ's done some fucked up shit.
Yeah. So Nick sent me this podcast about Van Lathan and his co-host and Michael Rappaport. And when I first saw it,
please shout out Rachel Lindsay.
Yeah, Rachel Lindsay. And where is she from? Because I've seen that sister before. Was she on TV?
Yeah, she got famous from Bachelorette, man.
Okay.
She was the first black Bachelorette.
Okay. I'm about to say, I know I've seen her somewhere. Yeah. Very beautiful sister. And very kind and very much intelligent to the point, but she ain't going to put up with no bullshit either. Right. I saw her. Nick sent me this podcast. It was the Higher Learning Podcast, Van Lathan. Y'all should go check it out. Hey, man, 066 said, what's up, Nick? Man, what's going on?
What's going on, man?
So, this was Nick's topic. Nick's pod. He picked this out. I watched the whole thing, man. I literally took time out to watch it because I knew it was going to be interesting. Now, I'm putting the ball in your court, Nick. What you think, man?
So, I got to be honest, man. When I first watched it, I was a little confused because, for one, I don't have Twitter no more. I don't have any sort of social media. So, I don't follow Michael Rappaport And even when I did have a Twitter, I didn't follow him. So I was like, so what's his account about? Because they kept talking about, you know, his page or whatever. So I'm like, well, what the fuck is he posting? The more you watch it, you're like, oh shit, okay. So this is
Go ahead, man, Nick. Educate him.
This is the thing, man. This dude shows up to the interview for one with the star David, right? Is that what that is?
Yes, that was. Educate him. You peeped that out too.
Yeah. So,
okay, so we on the same page.
So when you do that, especially following the backlash that he's been following the last few weeks, you're automatically trying to get sympathy.
Dog whistling.
You're trying to be like, oh well, see, I'm part of the people that have been put down as well, which is true, but it was for 4 or 5 years. I mean, not really. When you talk about like the Hitler movement, it was like 4 or 5 years, 10 years, maybe, depending if you go back to the 30s. I don't know what it is, but so when you go into the interview, and you have that Star David hat, you're kind of like making a message, which is all right, whatever, that's cool. But I got really fucking confused, man, because his problem is that the news, the media is not presenting certain shootings. I guess a 3-year-old black kid got killed, and he didn't feel like the NBA acknowledged it. He didn't feel like all these things acknowledged it. But he said this right after he got done saying, I'm getting tired of sports media talking about all these things. I just want to watch the game.
That's what he said.
So you want to watch the game, man, but now you want also for them to bring up all these other topics. So you get they're mentioning so many things that you're actually tired of it, but now you want them to mention more stuff. Which one is it, man? You can't have your cake and eat it too. And it was almost like he kept bringing up stuff just to kind of better his argument, but the more he went, the worse his argument sounded. Man, Van was on his ass though. I gotta give it to him.
Okay, now this is what I thought. I'm sorry, but this is what I thought. When I first saw the Star of David, you know, the Jewish, I said, here we go. Here we go. He put on the protection because he has the complexion and he's going to get the affection from those people. So that's why he went on there. People need to understand this, Nick, that yo, and I was a Nas fan and Tribe Called Quest fan. I don't give a fuck what fan you was. I don't care if David from the Bible came down himself. That does not give you a pass to jump into a black issue and tell us what we need to be doing. That's one. Two, it's so funny that you're posting all these things about black people, which I know Van's not lying because I've heard other people say it too. But when it comes to white people, especially your own people, the white Jewish community, you're not doing that to them. You're not telling us what they doing.
Right.
But you conveniently took a text message between you and Kevin Durant and put it all on the internet, all on social media, because you knew he would get that backlash because you jumped into white privilege. This is what I mean about.
I don't believe when he said in that interview too, like, oh well, at the time, in the moment, I didn't look at it like Kevin Durant. Man, yes you did, bro. You guys were going back and forth. You took the time to delete your own messages.
Thank
and then
you.
he's like, oh well, if I wouldn't have, it would have made me look better. For one, I don't know what you mean by that, man, but you pulled the widest move in history.
And that's why black folk need to start vetting out whoever's around you and nipping that shit in the bud right away.
And that's why I always say it does not matter who you date. This motherfucker's married to a black female.
And look how he acting.
It doesn't matter.
And let's take it even deeper. Let's take it even deeper. They said higher learning. Oh yeah, I had a great time. How do you have a great time walking around calling people monkeys and niggers? Because that's what you did in higher learning.
Right.
How was that a great time? That's not a great time.
And you see, he checked him. He's like, maybe filming it was a great time, but that movie was not fun.
And it was not fun.
Right.
So how was it good? Yeah, it was good for you. Because you didn't even care about the ultimate message. You didn't care. You know why? He is the epitome of white privilege, white superiority, the system of racism, white supremacy, white fragility, deflecting, acting like he has a rite of passage to be telling black people what they should be doing. Okay, then if you have that, then let me go in the Jewish community and tell white Jewish people what they should be doing. Because I can tell them a whole bunch of shit that they should be doing. The first thing I could be telling them is, why do y'all so conveniently make all this money off of black folk, and then when black people wake up, now they're anti-Semitic?
But this is my thing, man. I don't think he's not being honest. He's not being honest about what he wants black people to do. He's not, because he just said, I want you to stop talking about this shit so I can enjoy the football game on Sundays. And then turned right around, was like, oh, the NBA didn't mention this 3-year-old black kid that got shot.
Exactly.
So what do you want, man?
Well, it's almost, well, first of all, let me tell you what white folk want. White folk want black folk to kowtow and kiss ass. And a lot of the black folk that are around white folk that act like that, I blame them because they need to nip it in the bud and check them. But I believe that Michael Rappaport does not act like that with every black person that he's around. I believe he acts like that with people he know ain't gonna really do anything to him. Because if he was around real black folk, that's gonna be like, hey man, don't get your ass whooped over here. He would immediately go into a white privilege mode and be like, hey, that's what he did anyway. What do you mean? Come on, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking serious? Van Lathan I was looking like, bro, do you hear what you're saying? You don't even know what you're saying. You know why? Because you think you have privilege.
But that's why I wouldn't blame black people, because I don't think he's acting like that around them. I think they're like, oh man, what's this thing I'm hearing about, this thing on this podcast you doing? Oh, no, things got misconstrued.
Exactly, because he's not doing. I know he's not getting around Ice Cube and acting like that.
That's my point. It's because of Ice Cube that this motherfucker has a career. Because after Higher Learning, he put him in
Next Friday.
He was the mailman. You know what I'm saying? So this motherfucker got lucky, bro.
And here's the thing: if people don't start holding other racial groups accountable, they're gonna continue to do that. That's why I always tell people, if they're your friends and they really care about your struggle, they would be just like Keith Forsyth. You know why I always remember that name? Because that's the motherfucker that picked those locks. They'd be like him. They would be like, nah, fuck that. They'd be like those white people in that book. Man, what the fuck is this racist shit? Oh no, we putting all this shit out here. This some bullshit. That's what we need. They told us what was being said when we weren't in the room. That's what you need. You don't need people like Michael, and I'm glad he checked him at the end. Look, man, I don't know if you're doing it on purpose or whatever, but we don't need that. You're not helping us, and you good. Just stay over there. More black folk need to do that. We need to be on code, because I'm going to tell you right now, Nick, if you were to even say something remotely wrong about the white Jewish community, they will tar and feather you. They will put a chokehold on your money and make sure you drown.
And yeah, you're right. But this is exactly why I'm about to do what he just did. This is why black people should follow the Jewish community. Because if black people were like that, you guys would be the strongest motherfuckers in the world.
Exactly. What do you think?
I'm serious. I just got done telling you, man. There is a synagogue here in town that's on the west side. I don't know if it's 134 or 138. They got fucking motherfuckers.
No, it's 134.
Is it 134?
Yeah, 89134.
They got
Summerlin.
They got motherfuckers with assault rifles at the gate. The gates are always closed. They're waiting for somebody to pull up at the gate. You better be Jewish or you're not getting in.
Yep.
Can you imagine if Nation of Islam had that shit at their place? That motherfucker would be raided.
Yep. That's a fact. It would be raided.
So you know, if that's how they are, that's fine. I don't know, but if that's how they are, black people need to follow that, man, because what they do is they let people like Michael Rappaport in, and all these motherfuckers that seem cool, me, and all of a sudden we turn on you motherfuckers and like, oh shit,
yep.
We didn't think Nick was like that. He had Tupac bumping in his car the other day.
That don't mean
shit.
Don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing.
Even these motherfuckers, I'm not saying they're not racist. They did something cool, but who the fuck knows what? There's a part, I don't want to fucking get it wrong, but there's a part in the movie Lincoln where Lincoln's talking to this lady in town, and they're talking about, you know, would you support the Civil War or whatever? And they're like, yeah, you know, or no, would you support ending slavery if it ended the war? And she's like, yes. And he goes, okay, would you support ending slavery if it didn't end the war? And they're like, no. It was almost saying like, hey, we agree to a certain point, but if it's not, oh no, then I'd rather keep the slaves.
Well, that's how all of those presidents were then, and that's why in U.S. history, I always tell everyone, while you're taking U.S. history, you need to read your own books and gather your own knowledge because
they're teaching you what they want you to know.
Their history is their story, his story. One side. That's why they don't even talk about foundational Black Americans, Native Blacks, as Dr. Claude Anderson calls it, foundational Black Americans, as Tariq Nasheed calls it. They don't talk about us building the country. They skip right over that shit and get right to George Washington would never tell a lie. They don't never talk about George Washington ripping out black folks' teeth.
And I'm glad you keep bringing up the wigs, because that's the one thing I never understood. Why are these motherfuckers wearing wigs?
Who brought up the wig?
I think you were talking about that the other day about
those motherfuckers. God, what is that?
I never understood that, bro.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know if they had like this, like British. They wanted to be British. I don't know what it was, man.
Well, yeah, because they came from Britain, so that's what they wanted to do.
But that motherfucker was like supposed to be like big because he beat the British. But yeah, you sitting there like, yeah, thou shall be heard in the court. It's like, man, shut the fuck up. You look like a woman.
Yeah, exactly. European, and that's why, for the most part, when you thinking about U.S. history in its totality, you have to understand. You have to keep this in mind. They're only gonna tell what they want people to know. That's why most white folk grow up thinking that, well, we've always been in power and we're responsible for everything. They don't want people to know that a black person invented the stoplight or the iron board. They don't want people knowing that. They want people to think that white folks invented everything. No, white folks own the patent office. That's all they did. They didn't invent shit. And that's a motherfucking fact. The first computer, that was not Bill Gates and your boy Steve Jobs. The first dude to build a processor, he was a black brother out of Africa, if I'm not mistaken, and the cell phone and all the other shit. But they're never gonna give us that credit, because then what'll happen is there's a generation that will be like, y'all lying. There are those kids that are gonna be like, y'all full of shit. You know what I'm saying? Just like, look at financial literacy. They don't want black folk waking up. Like Michael Rappaport. Let's just take him for an example. He wore that hat so he could be stood up by the hands of the white Jewish dominant society. That's what he wanted. So if you get him in the jam, there's nothing gonna happen to him because he played the victim.
But not only that, though, I honestly don't think that he was just looking for support by his people. I think he was also looking at it and going, all the black people that are watching this interview right now, I'm a part of a group that was put down too, so you have to sympathize with me.
Yeah, well,
you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what he was like. It was almost.
But guess what though? No, that's for dumb niggas.
Right.
First of all, let me break this down again. The Holocaust happened in Europe. We're not in Europe. It's not where you're from, it's where you are at. We are in the United States of America Incorporated. So he can do all that, and that's fine. The Japanese can do that, that's fine. But we're talking about the United States of America Incorporated. So you can wear that hat all you want.
It's almost like if I said something bad about Milky Ways, and in the interview about the interview about what I said about Milky Way, I wore a Snickers hat. Like,
man,
I like chocolate bars, man.
Man,
Milky Ways that day just pissed me off.
I for one, I think that I know what he was doing. That's a dog whistle too, because anybody that has any intelligence that did a modicum of reading, not much, they would know that happened in Europe. That didn't happen in the United States of America Incorporated. We're talking about what happened here to black folk who built this country. So I would never feel sorry for him. That's not my fight. Why would I feel sorry? That happened in Europe. That didn't happen here. We're talking about what happened to black folk in the United States of America Incorporated. We're not talking about everywhere else. That's the problem with a lot of people. They let people take them on alligator rolls. And when I mean alligator rolls, when an alligator, they get you under the water, they just keep rolling over and over and over again and break your bones and get you all discombobulated, and then you drown and they break all your bones and you're dead. And that's what people do in conversations. Oh, well, I'm Jewish and all that. You don't think people try to do that shit to me before? And I'd be like, and the first thing I've said after my studies is, well, that happened in Europe. But that didn't happen in the United States.
But for me, man, that's the same kind of argument, man. Like, I'm not saying that they haven't been put down.
Exactly.
What I'm saying is, it goes back to the OJ argument, the Michael Jackson argument, the R. Kelly argument. I'm not worried about the argument with me is not whether they did it or whether they didn't do it. The argument is why are we trying to justify everything with them, but we not holding everybody else that are doing the same shit accountable? If that's what they're really doing, you know, that's the argument. So I'm not saying that you guys don't deserve, you know, what everything that everyone else get. What I'm saying is that we sit there and we give stuff to Jewish people, we give stuff to gay people, we give stuff to Indian Americans, but then we'll be like, oh, fuck black people. And we can't do that. Like that's the argument. It's like, if you want to do that, that's fine. We could do it. Let's start it today. But let's start it with every single buddy.
But they wouldn't do that because I'm telling you, I've said this on podcasts before. If the government announced tomorrow we're giving black folk $350 trillion, which 40 million black people, that amounts to $10 million apiece. White folks would be jumping out of windows and rioting and storming the government and trying to kill every black person in sight. You know why?
Not to mention, showing up at the thing and be like, well, actually, I'm 0.003%.
And then
my
you got those.
Great grandma knew somebody that lived down the street from somebody that bought some bullshit excuses.
Oh, you mean like what's that lady's name? The senator or whatever, the white lady that was running for president. What was her name? I forgot her name. I'm blanking on her name.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Not what was
Elizabeth Warren.
Elizabeth Warren. This bitch said she was a Native American. Then they did the blood test. Bitch, you ain't no Native American. You're a pretendian. You're not a Native American. Stop that because.
But what happened? She didn't say sorry. She didn't say nothing. It just got right underneath the rug. It's all right.
Let me see. Tongue paste. Like, tongue wrestle to end the argument. I quickly say, what if we take away all of the slave labor that built this nation you call America? Let's not forget how the inmates were fighting the fires in 2019. That's a fact. She not lying about that. See, that's the thing. I'll say it again. Most dominant society white folk, Nick, they are good at making black folk feel guilty about bringing up racism. They will, to some people. Motherfucker I don't even give them a chance. First of all, when a white person, the average white person, when they're around you and they know like you read and you kind of look at things differently, they'll just stay away from you unless they want to pick an argument with you to get you to react. But if they know you're not a reactionary type of person and you know how to respond, they'll just leave you alone. You see what I'm saying? For the most part, especially if they know you kind of read, they'll just not even bother you.
Right.
Especially at the corporate plantation. Because this is where this takes place a lot. Like I told you about the Colin Kaepernick thing. So what do you think about that? This is what I said at one of the corporate plantations I worked at. I said, I don't even watch football like that. And this person was so shocked, white man, so shocked. He didn't even know how to respond. Because he was so shocked.
But what's funny, man, I just seen this the other day. I forgot about it. Someone on I think YouTube or some shit, they posted two pictures, one of Colin Kaepernick taking a knee, and right next to it, Tim Tebow.
Yep.
In the same exact position. Maybe 3 years before he did it. Not one person ever brought it up.
Well, because he's white. That's why. And you know what?
He was a hero when he did it.
Exactly.
He was a hero when he did it. But
Nick, I've had people that are black, they're biracial, as that's what they want to call now, mixed, mulattoes, try to argue me down. And this person was old and tried to argue me down. Now, from his appearance, you wouldn't think that he's black. But if you really knew him and talked to him, you'd be like, not talk to him, but knew him, if he trusted you enough, he would divulge that, because those are the real cowardly lions, I would say, are those mulattoes that won't stand up for anything. And since they can speak another dialect, let's just say they can speak Spanish. If they can speak Spanish, they can blend in with white people and Spanish people. They don't care to blend in with black folk unless it's convenient for them. But other than that, they won't. And this particular person was like, oh, he's disrespectful to the military. And I'm like, and I've said this on my podcast before, and I said, do you even know why he's kneeling? Oh, it's disrespectful. I said, but do you know why? And he was like, oh, it's disrespectful. I said, but you're not answering my question. Do you know why he's kneeling? He said, well, why is he kneeling? I don't get it. I said, well, he's kneeling because of police brutality. Do you know the history of police and law enforcement in this country, United States of America Incorporated? Do you know? And he was like, oh, well, I said, well, do you really know the history? I said, because I'm not trying to go there with you, but if you don't know the history, I think you're just going off what somebody told you. Do you know it? Are you reading? You researching it? You know what I mean? Because people could say, well, why would you believe? A lot of these books that I've read, they're written by white people about all the bullshit that white people did to black people. So I shouldn't believe them? Why is it we want to believe white people when it comes to everything else, but then when it comes to
It's all
them,
convenience, man. It's
but
all
then when it
convenience.
comes to them telling on what they've done, then it's like, well, why would you believe what's written in the book? It's like, oh, well, I just think it's disrespectful.
Well, in this case, this motherfucker definitely had the complexion for the protection. He passed for white. I'm sorry, I'll say it. This motherfucker looked like me.
So I said, Nick, I just said, you want to talk about disrespectful? He's like, well, yeah. He's like, well, what do you think? I want to hear this. I said, you know that song that they sing during the national anthem? Yeah, what's wrong with that? I said, do you know who wrote that song? And because you got to come at people like it's, like you're cross-examining somebody.
Right.
Because if you start arguing and getting loud, now it's you're ghetto, you're loud, I can't get it. So now I have to go into the sarcasm. Do you know who wrote that song? No, who wrote that song? His name was Francis Scott Keys. He was a white supremacist. He owned slaves. And he felt like black folk were put here to be in bondage for white folk and build everything for them and be slaves for them. And they also took out the third verse of him talking about how he felt about black people. Did you know that? Jaws dropped. Nothing. Couldn't even say nothing. After that, I almost was like, I just rather you not even be black and just go on that side and don't even come back. Because that's what we don't need, especially at these corporate plantations. We do not need telling about the gun line, Hayward Shepherd, Steven from Django, motherfucking coon Sambo motherfuckers and mammies that want to say slick shit to motherfuckers and talk crazy to us and then become acclimated to what they want you to do. You're being an agent for the system. We don't need that. That's see, when Van Lathan was arguing with Michael Rappaport, it was good because he checked him. But my thing is, do you know how many black folk will sit up there and co-sign what Michael Rappaport said and what he does? Because he's cool and he yo. No, man, do the work. And I'm not talking about you gotta be out there marching, whining, repeating. Do it honestly. Have some humility. He oozes with arrogance about everything. And I don't like that shit. Those are the type of motherfuckers that you should not have around you if you're really trying to make an impact in the right way for the next generation. Because the next generation is watching. And if the black folk now are just co-signing anything, that's on like Post Malone and all these people. Why you think I go in on Pink? Bitch, then why wasn't you doing that music from the beginning? Don't use us as no stepping stool. And then once you get to where you want to get to, you don't even look at black people no more. You see what I'm saying? That's what I don't like. Because black folk, we're not allotted that amount of privilege to go do rock music to get on, and then we can go do hip hop when we comfortable. That'll never happen. Because rock people will never allow us to do that in their genre of music. Only in hip hop, we just let anybody in. In our culture, we just let anybody in and tell them everything and show them our algorithms and everything. And then when they flip on us, oh my God, why would he do that? Well, what did you think?
Right.
They're going to go with their own. If they're not going to go with their own, they're going to show you through their everyday mentality of what they are doing, through their good work, not through them bumping their guns, because motherfuckers can talk all day long. That's what I was telling you, nigga. I'm like, look, a motherfucker can talk this, I'm not racist. How many books have you read? Do you even know what it means? Do you know how it affects black people? People think racism just calling us names. It's who's calling us the name? Who has the power behind that? Who's carrying power? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I actually think that a lot of white people don't even think racism is that. I think that white people think that they know what slavery used to be, and they look at that like that was racism. And as long as we're not doing that still, there's no such thing as racism. So as long as there's not a black dude hanging from the tree, we're good.
Yep.
As long as we're not going to these hangings and throwing tomatoes and shit at them, we're good. But me calling you a name, that's not racism. I'm just mad at the time.
My diabetes was flaring up.
Yeah. That's my.
So if I went and called a Jewish person
Man.
A Jewish slur, and I said my diabetes was acting up, they would withhold insulin from me. That's what they would do in their culture. That's why the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and Brother Tony Muhammad, he changed his name recently.
That's why you can't argue that things are equal, because it's not even fair.
Yeah, he said, I don't have a problem with the Jewish people. I think the Jewish people are smart in how they do business and how they make sure they come first and they circulate their dollar. I just think people like to take what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan does and says, and they always want to make it anti-Semitic. But my argument is to any white Jewish person, and I don't know a lot, I don't claim, that's why it's just no, I don't know, but I'll look him in his eye, whoever it is, and say, well, tell me what he's lying about and give me the books and the facts. Tell me, what is he lying about? Because I always hear him say he's anti-Semitic, but I never hear them say he's lying.
Right.
I never hear them say he's a liar. And when Nick Cannon had that Jewish rabbi on there and they was doing all that shitting on him, I felt like, well, why don't y'all sit down and have a conversation with him? But why would you want to have a conversation? Because he knows who you are. He knows who you are. You people that practice that gutter religion. And I know what he meant and I know what he said. And they always trying to like get him to apologize. And then what they do is anybody that stands next to him, they slap him down. But every other racial group could call us niggas. Look at Donald Sterling. I'm gonna keep bringing up Donald Sterling. Nigga. This nigga's a nigga. He had AIDS. Nigga. He just totally disrespected Magic Johnson in so many ways. They sold him. They took the team, gave him his bread, and sold it to another white Jewish person. So that should have let every black person know how they really feel about black people. But we so dumb. We gonna strike. We gonna protest, and not, for warm-ups, we gonna put our shirts over our jerseys. But I get it. Because this is your job, this is where you get paid, and ain't nobody gonna lose their job for a race of people. Because let me tell you something, if you do risk your job for people, all they gonna do is call you a dummy. I wouldn't have done that shit. You gotta pay your bills. I wasn't doing that. And then if you don't risk your job, oh, you old Sambo ass nigga. So I get where they're coming from. I'm talking about all the spectators, the people buying the hot dogs, the people going to the games. I'm talking about them. Y'all want to help and change racism? Call out the NBA as a league. Why is every commissioner white? Why has none of them ever been black? Why is it every time a black coach has a losing season, he's fucking fired before the season's over? But Luke Walton could fucking coach the Sacramento Kings and have a losing season after losing season. And then when Magic Johnson was like, well, I need to terminate him. He's not doing his job. Oh, but we need to have somebody else in there. Mm-hmm. Magic Johnson low-key told us they on some racist shit too.
Right.
And I think he was so frustrated. You know why? Because he was hurt. Because he thought Jeannie Buss and them really liked him. No, as a slave, nigga. They didn't like you as a human being. You understand what I'm saying? Because if they did, they would have been like, Magic, it's your team, do what you want to do. Fire.
Yeah, but I already told you, man. I think I said it on the first episode I did. Coach Bickerstaff from Cleveland came out and said, dude, they want you as an assistant to be basically a babysitter to make sure these players aren't going out clubbing all night. Hey, make sure you get home safe. Make sure you get back to the hotel, whatever it is. And then when it's time to go and apply for the head coaching job, they go, oh, we can't hire you because you're too close to the players.
Yep.
So it's always going to be a white dude replacing another white dude.
Yep.
It's always going to be.
And let me tell you.
And every single person, every single religion, every single background participated in slavery. People from the Middle East, which isn't really the Middle East, but Iraq, I mean, all England, America, South America, everybody.
If you read, I think it's Black Labor Right Wealth, or Power Not, I think it's Black Labor Right Wealth. He talks about how the Catholic Church apologized. Mm-hmm. We don't want your apology. Where's the money? Right. You made all this money. Right. Where's the money? That's why I be laughing at people. Oh, I know some people. It's like, oh yeah, I'm Catholic. I'm like, oh, you like Catholicism? That's a European religion based out of Italy. That religion wasn't created for you. Right. That was created for Italians. Clown. But
and not to mention all of these religions, Christianity, Mormon, Catholic, Judaism, they're all here to fucking control you. They're all here to make sure you stay in line while you're here, do exactly what they want, and then when you die, they're like, all right, now you're gonna learn the real truth.
Well, in this
now
book,
you're gonna see what the real.
And in this
we've been
book,
lying to you the whole time.
And in this book, the etymology, religion means to bind. It means to bind, basically keep you in line. So it's true. I just think nowadays what we have to start doing is taking the knowledge back, reading it, researching it for ourselves. Stop just allowing people to tell you whatever. Research it for yourself. Vet me out. Why you think I told you? Man, go read this book. I always talk about this every podcast how Nick thought I was a Republican. Because I was like, I'm fucking with the Democrats. And you kind of did look at me like, oh my God, don't tell me.
It goes even before the books, bro. was having a lot of health problems a couple years back. Missing a lot of work, fucking constantly like trying to catch up, trying to get back in. And as soon as I felt like I was getting ahead, I was like taking 2 steps back. And finally, I went to Warren. I said, Warren, dude, I'm having a lot of problems, man. This is what's going on. 2 seconds went by. He goes, it's what you're eating. I was like,
because I was fucked up. That's why.
Like, hold up. I was like, man, this motherfucker think he know about my shit. I just went to go see 8 doctors. Not one of them asked me about my diet. So how does Warren think that he knows what I'm going through? It was what the fuck I was eating. So that's why I go back to that's why I go back to the Nation of Islam. If they're so bad, then why do they always try to tell you to do the right things? You know what I'm saying? Like Christians, they're some evil motherfuckers, man, and they will start wars with anybody to get money and power. But yet they're the good people. So
the Christians against the Moors. That used to be the old term. The Christians against the Moors. And you're right. That's why on the back of that How to Eat to Live by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, it said on the back. And this book was vetted out and proven to be true by white scientists. They put it on the back of the book because they know how niggas is gonna be. I don't believe that shit. That's why the joke with the Nation of Islam is always, I don't eat swine, my brother. But there's a reason behind why you're not eating it. Dr. Sabi was the main one, the trichina worm. The same thing that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. See, they was so mad at him. Like, how the fuck he know this shit?
Not to mention pork, but he also said that the chicken. I'm talking about Dr. Sabi. He also said chicken was like the devil's food.
Yeah, because there's no real chicken is a hybrid.
Right.
He's like, there's no real chicken in the jungle.
Right.
He's like, they made that motherfucker.
Right.
They bred it with something. He was like, he talks about a lot of that stuff, like meat and stuff like
Lettuce
that.
ain't a real vegetable.
Yeah.
Or not broccoli.
Broccoli. Yeah, broccoli's man-made. I stopped eating broccoli after that.
Right.
Because I used to eat broccoli 2014, and you know what? Broccoli had my stomach inside up and upside down. And I stopped eating. A lot of that shit I stopped eating. One of the things that I did learn, because, man, I eat bad sometimes, man. I ain't gonna lie. I eat a pizza or I eat a chicken burrito or something like that. But I'm gonna tell you what I do to detox. Sea moss. I take a lot of Tahuti Ma'ara. He has like blood and lymphatics cleanser.
Bro, I just had chicken fingers.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying I don't eat it.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is I followed that diet, and I know for a fact it's fucking real. So if you have problems, if you get cancer, you better fucking go with that way instead of just automatically assuming that these white doctors have your best interests at heart, because they gonna give you chemo and you're gonna end up dying a year later anyway.
Facts. So you might as well just do it your own way. You better go get you some. I'm telling you, bro. When I eat like meat, because I didn't eat meat for about a year, and I was like, man, felt good. And then when I started, I had a little bit of chicken, but I wouldn't have that much. What I would do is take sea moss. I would take right now what I got is I got a bunch of Tahuti. I gotta show you. He's got a colon cleanser, and then he's got that ain't gonna have you going to the bathroom every 5 minutes. Those are not real colon cleansers anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I take that, and then he's got this thing called it's like a worm and parasite cleanser. Because you know we eat a lot of food like meat and processed stuff. It's parasites in there. Mm-hmm. So I'll take that, and then with the sea moss. You know what the sea moss do. You be spitting up mucus and shit all fucking day.
Right.
So I just do that. And what I try to do is I have a cheat day, 1 or 2 cheat days, but the rest of the week, but I ain't gonna lie to you. I only eat 1 time a day. Like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now I don't do exactly, this shit is strict now, nigga. I love pizza. That's hard to give up. Cheese and that shit is hard, but I'm learning, I'm trying, but I have a lot of stuff to counteract that, and that's Tahuti Ma'ara. Like I got pancreas pills. I got everything in there. You'll be like, God damn. Antiviral pills. I got the blood lymphatic cleanser. I got all kinds of shit because I feel like vitamins, all that does is disrupt your digestive system. So I don't really take a lot of vitamins, bro, unless I'm eating something when I take them. Like his shit, you can take on a empty stomach and you are good. And that's what I like about his stuff, because it's a natural herb. And when you eat processed foods, as I do too, I'm not finna sit up here in front. No, I do too. You have to have something to detox it. Like I have a kidney and bladder herb that I'm gonna show it to you. Kidney and bladder herb that I have. I have
But it's more just like taking the time to learn it. Because a lot of people, they don't, like, you tell them and they don't even want to hear it.
Yep.
Like, you a dumb motherfucker for bringing it up.
Yep.
And it's like, man, go read, dog.
Yeah, I got.
And then if you don't want to, that's fine.
Yep.
Because I'm doing it right now. I'm doing whatever the fuck I want. But guess what? I know I'm fucking killing myself faster than what it would be.
Me too. and you know another thing too. I remember that one. I remember the same person that was like arguing with us about milk. She was like, "Oh, I had my gallbladder removed, right?" And I said, "The body can naturally reheal itself if you just don't eat greasy foods." Mm-hmm. And because I knew my gallbladder was fucking with me too. So you know what I did? I just didn't eat no greasy foods. I started eating quinoa and maybe a little bit of fish, but not much fish. More mushrooms, quinoa and mushrooms, and what's the vegetable to make your pee stink? God damn, what I'm blanking
Asparagus?
right. Asparagus. I would eat a lot of asparagus and stuff like that. So once I started eating that for like 2, 3, 4, 5 months, I felt it. I was like, I think my shit is rehealing. Just drinking water. Oh, and then the kicker, lemon water. Most alkaline thing, the second alkaline thing. Remember that same girl was trying to argue me down? She was like, lemon's not alkaline. I'm like, bro, it's the second alkaline fruit on the list. Watermelon is first. That's why they used to make fun of niggas for eating watermelon, because we knew how healthy it was for us back in the day. Right. So what they did was, no, you don't need to be eating that. You need to be eating pig and all this other shit. No, that's not what you need to be eating. You see what I'm saying? It's just a lot, and we're a work in progress. So I'm not gonna sit around here acting like I eat healthy all the time, because I don't eat healthy all the time. But I can tell you the things that you can do.
Is they make watermelon a stereotype so people won't want to eat it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Or they'll give you seedless watermelon.
Right.
Why would you want some? So that means
it's not real.
It's not even real.
Right.
You don't even know what they put in that. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I would just tell a person, if you eat meat, you do all that, cool. Because I eat a chicken taco or something like that, I'm not gonna lie. And guess what I do? Because I have gallbladder and liver pills from herb from Tahuti Ma'ara, kidney and bladder from Ma'ara. I have frankincense and myrrh gum from Ma'ara. That shit basically, it's like antibacterial. It does so much shit, and it takes all the, like, if you eat meat, it won't allow it to be dead in your system. Like, it is. I just suggest people go fuck with this shit.
So to be honest, man, I think I would still be on it. I let one food fuck me up from the whole diet. I had amaranth one too many times, man, and it's just so bland that I almost just like went away from the whole diet. And when I should have just been like, all right, I'm not fucking with amaranth for a while. Like, just leaving that shit alone.
Or you can find substitutes.
Yeah.
That's why I just think right now, I think what we need to do is start going back to our forefathers like Layla Africa and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and all these other natural healers that understand about how the body works. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, you know, you're right. Doctors are like, just like how doctors ain't gonna heal you. The stock market, them people and white people on the stock market, they don't give a fuck about no niggas either. They don't care about people in general, period.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just like the people at the gourd plantations, they don't care. You know, that's why we have to go into it, learning how to respond, not react. And when you're dealing with people like Michael Rappaport, I think Michael Rappaport got out of his bag, in my personal opinion, is because Van Lathan is a very intelligent dude.
But you know that you're dealing with a certain type of person when they don't have a comeback. Oh, Warren, you bugging. If I keep saying that, you know I'm feeling guilty as fuck.
Oh, you bugging. Well, how am I bugging? Because you're bugging. But you can't give me any based facts on what I'm talking about, because I just went and looked at your page and you got a whole bunch of niggas on there fighting and arguing. You ain't got no white people on there, are you?
Right.
Where are the white people fighting? And then why would you say, where's the man at? Well, you're creating a false narrative that there is no real black men in these communities. Mm-hmm. And then you went on to say, oh, I didn't mean like that. When a white person, I've learned from white fragility, once they start getting defensive, you got them. Mm-hmm. You got them. That's why Van, he was killing them, bro. Because he almost wanted to take that mic off and be like, dude, fuck you. Right. I don't want to be on this fucking podcast.
Right.
That's why he went into, you should be thanking me for being on here. Right. I should be thanking you.
Right.
Now, any intelligent black person gonna be like, that was some whole shit that you did on this podcast. You know that, right?
I just want to sit, like, really find out what he really thinks of himself, because you would have thought like he was the biggest motherfucker ever. Like he really thinks of himself like that after that podcast.
Well, that's because black people treat him that way, man. But hey, man, that's our time, man. I appreciate everybody out here listening, man. We went over a lot, but I don't care. Great conversation. I appreciate everybody listening, subscribing. Y'all know what it is. Erica, shout out to you. Shawnee, she sent me a message too, and she said she been watching. She been handling business. That's why we try to get on her early, because it's like 9, it's like 10 o'clock where Shawnee is at, man. She East Coast.
Right.
So we try to get on a little earlier. Tasha, shout out to you. I know Tasha probably gonna be like, damn, I missed it again. Bro, I'm already knowing what they doing. But I appreciate everybody listening, subscribing. Hey, man, check me out tomorrow. I probably ain't gonna be on as long tomorrow, man. But Nick, man, pleasure doing this with you. What's this, our 6th show?
Yeah.
Miss our 6th one, man.
I'm probably not gonna make it next week, but I will be back. I promise.
No, you good, man. You look, you can't do. Look, let me tell y'all something. Besides Nuke, you've been the most consistent ever, and there's been a lot of people I've reached out to do this podcast with. Niggas don't show up. Niggas want to go to Wendy's. Niggas want to go to Chili's and do all this other shit. So, man, you can't make it every week, man.
Right.
You got shit to do. You got bills to pay too. So, we'll reconvene another time, man. Maybe the weekend after next. So, it's all good, man. When you can stop by, you can stop by. When you can't, it's all good. Hey, man, we appreciate everybody listening, subscribing. Y'all already know what it is, man. If you out here talking about I don't see color and what about black on black crime? Guilty, nigga. I don't fuck with y'all asses, nigga. I'm out. Are we out? Peace. You can't come every time. Shit.